Look at you guys.
Woo.
Man, Parrish, Alex.
How are you?
Man, it's been too long.
It has been.
It's been too long. The Kings of Bluegrass. I need some more Sicard Hollow in my life, dude. You know?
Definitely. I want that for you very much.
You guys are just killing it. We're talking about your new EP, which
Yep.
is out now.
Yes, it is.
Amazing, man.
The key to peace of mind. Yeah.
What is the key to peace of mind, Parrish?
Hey,
See, look, because you look like you got it all figured out, man.
He does look like, I know, right?
I look like it. I'm pretty, I think you just figure out kind of what's true to you, just go for it. That's been my peace of mind lately. It's just, I kind of wake up and I do what I need to do to make my life peaceful. Then I just do that stuff.
Blow glass, baby.
Yeah, blood glass. That's the good thing lately. That's been a huge meditative journey is, picked up glass doing actually.
Super cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where I feel like people are always kind of pecking at me all the time, or not people, but things, the world. Man, when the torch is on and things are on fire and melting, like, there you go, Jackie, you're in it, So it completely, any idea of like distraction or like the screen scrolling, instant dopamine, all that stuff, like it takes you to like an hour, a minimum an hour long, just full concentration. That's been my
That is so interesting, Parrish, Alex, because like when we talk about that, like mindfulness, it's being like precise.
Totally.
Because I was just listening to your EP, like I said, like in depth, and I've seen you guys also live. I've seen videos of you live. You gotta be like mega present with your instrument, right?
Yeah, definitely. Or at least attempt to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, during the show, sure. During the recording process, sure. Every single day, I think I can speak for myself. I have to be playing, attempting to learn how to flat pick a guitar. Takes a ton of time, and I haven't even scratched the surface with it.
Yeah.
And there's like not enough hours in the day for the rest of my life for me to probably consider myself to have mastered that thing, the fretboard of a guitar, the mechanics of flat picking, or phrasing or whatever it is in general, So I think being present with the instrument, that's the goal every day.
Sure.
Some days it happens easier than others. It used to happen real quick during COVID, man. It was like, that was my job. Recently I play every single day, but, finding the, entering into that state where kind of what Parrish was saying, where, an hour or 3 hours go by, and you're like, oh crap, you had no idea.
Yeah.
I think having those moments with the instrument is like what I'm looking for every day. This morning I woke up and I woke up like 7:30. I probably had 2 hours straight of guitar from about 8:30 to 10:30, which was amazing. And I dove into it, drank my coffee, and it was awesome. And I felt like I achieve something. But yeah, it doesn't happen some days are different than others, but that is my goal would be, I think, yeah, it's important to answer your question. I think it is very important to be present with your instrument.
It's so crazy to hear someone like you, because you're one of the best in the city, man. I mean,
I don't know about that.
my word, I think.
Thank you.
I mean, when I've seen you live,
Thank you.
the whole years, but it's been like, it's incredible.
Thank you.
To hear you like put so much emphasis into practice,
Right.
like even at your level and some of our peers, some friends here in Nashville level, like practicing, like it really is still like a major component, right?
Have to.
You have to.
Have to. I don't think any of the greats really stop practicing. I think you can maybe get to a point where you can internalize things and you might not have to pick up your instrument. Like Tony Rice was known for that. Like he listened to a lot of jazz. And like Chris Eldridge was talking about when he would like studied with Tony, he goes, we never even played a song together. We would listen. I think Tony reached the point where he knew the neck and he knew how to, he could make that connection with his mind to the music. So if he heard, some saxophone phrase or trumpet phrase, he could snag a little bit of that, then maybe apply it without having to go and, shed it out. So I'm not at that level yet. I don't know if I will be, but I like practice. I like learning.
Yeah.
You think there's always something new you can throw at the,
Totally.
throw at the wall.
I mean, like, Parrish, do you feel bad when you like? Let me rephrase. Like when you're, I don't know, maybe watching TV or something. Like I'm not a musician, so I don't at the level that you guys are. That Sicard Hollow is. Is there a part of it that like it's like guilty? It's like, oh man, I'm binging this show too much. I should like practice.
I would imagine. I think I saw like this too. Be all right. like playing so much, that it's kind of going to be chosen before the TV anyway. So by the time I get to the TV, at least for me, or it's not always just music, but when it comes to my life, the only time I would ever feel that way is if I didn't work up a tune specifically. I would say I get more. I'm going to pick up my bass every day, so I'm always going to feel good about it. But sometimes I might not practice my bass every day. I do not put attention into a specific thing, and I would say that to being it's scary more for me.
Yeah.
If I don't put attention to something that one of the guys asked me to put attention to, or if I don't put attention to something I ask myself to do, that's where guilt will carry, because I can sit down and play a bass and get distracted for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, but
You still love it as much as ever, basically.
I do, but I think something I've been playing for a really long time. I've been playing on stage for a really long time since my first four, I was 16, and I was like lucky that I had like the ability that I was a kid. Uh, and so I think that I a lot of times practice in silence or find myself looking for new phrasing or new ideas that are outside of holding my instrument. The same way, I'm not like Tony, but I pick it up from Les Staple. Les Staple at one point, someone asked him what he listens to now. Yeah, he was like, I listen to nothing. I listen to all just big ass. Because that's where inspiration comes from, because I've heard so many things, and I keep my ears very open. But, I think that a lot of inspiration comes from like being just kind of, for me, just thoughtful about the instrument. So, I don't know, I wouldn't say that I ever feel much guilt from watching the TV too much. But, if I don't think about Sick or Hollow, then that's probably where the guilt would come.
I like this 2025 version of Parish.
Yeah, me too.
Reproven.
Me too.
Guru.
I know.
Like,
I'm like, what happened?
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. That's why the band's in a great spot right now. Everybody's seems to be happy and healthy, and those are two huge components into the whole functioning of the cogs of the machine.
Well, you laugh about it, but I mean, how many years of Sicard has been?
Six going on 7 now. Yeah, 6. Wait, I guess no. Shit, 7 in this month, or no, next month, I think.
I mean, like,
Because we started like in May, but we didn't play a gig until, I think our first gig was July 18th of 2018.
yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
Because it was like a fish pre-party. They've streamed the fish show, and we get to play like a 3-hour set. This was before Parrish was in the band too. So this would be, I think it's 7 years coming up, which is crazy to think about. It's wild, time's flown by, but I mean, it's also wonderful to see where we are now, and to see that some of those kinks have worked themselves out along the way. Because maybe a couple years ago, we were not as healthy. Not that, the ship was sinking or anything, but like, I don't think there was longevity in the way that we were touring. Yeah, it was definitely wearing on everybody. I think any band does, that happens when you're grinding it out. And it's super exciting it's still exciting now, but it's an adventure in the first couple of years, and you got a $100 bar tab that you're determined to destroy every single night, It's like, boys, we ain't playing for much money, but they gave us a bar tab, so we're drinking it, And that just doesn't, now it's so different on the road. It's awesome.
Or a different phase, you guys are like on the next level,
I think so, yeah, and that was what's so cool. Before, off of camera, when we got here, we were talking about our most recent show at the Eastside Bowl. That was on May the 2nd. That was a couple Fridays ago. It was so awesome because I always worry about the hometown shows, because I want to be like, all right, we got to come back and do something. We got to pull out all the stops, all the tricks, And I obsess over it. And I made this set list, and it's had jam songs into songs and whatnot. And I'm like, it was awesome to land the tricks, not tricks, but we jammed it out, and we had a level of improv that I think we were able to lean more into and kind of let go a little bit, and we were swimming with it. And after the show, people were like, holy crap, that was amazing, Like, wow. And then it's awesome to hear people be like, we see you guys have been practicing. I'm like, hell yeah, because we have been, Yeah, everybody in their free time, and we're trying to at least get together twice a week and stay on that. Like, because it's easy to not it's easy to not do that. You would think bands would be like every single day, but we got, everybody has a life outside of the band too. We're trying to make it the main thing, and it is a huge pillar of all of our lives, but it takes a lot for it to be the main thing for everybody to say, all right, screw, I don't have to worry about anything but putting my energy into this. So that's definitely the goal. And I think we're doing a damn good job time management now, and everybody putting intention toward the things that need intention.
Yeah, I love this energy that you guys have for 2025, man.
I do too.
And Paris, like, touring with someone like, Leftover Salmon, for example, like, veterans of the game,
Oh, yeah.
bands and all that stuff. Like, what are the things besides musical stuff? Like, what are the little things like this that you take out, like, from their routine, from their tour manager, for their scheduling,
I think that one thing you could look at very stiff sitting. I mean, when you look at Salmon, those guys are very tight knit. You can tell, but they also are very independent. They let each other breathe a lot. I think that's important. If I'm gonna look at like the Kitchen Dwellers, those guys have, I've never talked to them about it, but they seem to have very defined roles. Like they kind of all like know their part of the journey and they know their part of the battle. And I think that that's kind of like the biggest part for a lot of bands that are in, our ring. And I think that, or a lot of the bands we look up to, a lot of bands we go play with, everyone has figured out how to be a part of the team and not, I mean, when we first started off, it was like, how do you, some of us were trying not to piss the other ones off, and the other ones were completely oblivious that they were pissing.
All right.
And so then you get to a point where you get tolerant and support. Like you go through these phases of, upset, then tolerance, then support, then upset, then tolerance, then support. And those are kind of the waves that I see every time the wave gets bigger. So you tolerate each other more and you support each other more, then maybe you get upset more.
Totally.
You learn to understand each other more. And, there's a lot of stuff that we all do besides just play.
Yeah.
And I'm really appreciative when any of the guys step up and just handle something that isn't on stage. And I think that goes back towards me as well. We try to look at each other and be like, hey, like, or at least, we don't talk about it a lot, but I think it's very important that we are doing the things we do behind the scenes together, working hard and stopping all the leaks and plugging all the holes.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
Oh.
I think camaraderie is what you see from the bands that have longevity. I think that is important. To love the game. I mean, I wouldn't have been at it as long as I don't think any of us would be at this as long as we have, pursuing it the way we're pursuing it without feeling a definitive, pull to do so. And a love for either playing or the message. And man, I love playing music, and I've played it for so long, but I could go downtown, or we could all go downtown and play it. So I think with Sicard, or go somewhere and play it. I think with Sicard, I think the idea that the message keeps us together, and as we grow more together and grow older, that's what I see in these other bands, is this, like, they have like a defined, like, it's like their beam of light that they're throwing.
Right.
Well, that's what we do together. So that's hard to replace. Like you might get to play with better musicians in other bands doing better things, but better is so subjective or objective. Like I would never get to do what I get to do in any other situation. So gratitude is like
Absolutely. I love that. Well, I mean, Alex, when you're like peaking with the crowd and like the crowds always go nuts, man, at your shows, like what's that peak like? Like, is that like why everything like
It does.
worth it, dude?
It feels good.
What does it feel?
I love it whenever I can hit a good peak and people are cheering, because it's interesting on the guitar. Like if we're talking like energy wise in a jam, it feels amazing when you're on, for sure. But also I know that if I'm not on, I can toss it to Matt, and then we can build this musical moment where Matt doesn't fumble the ball as much as maybe I would in those moments. And maybe nobody would even know that I fumbled it, but those moments are incredible when Matt's soaring and the band's, driving behind him, and everybody, we have this unity and we're doing the thing, you know, and on stage, you know when the thing's happening, and you know when it's not happening.
Are there days that like you just don't have it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not that maybe you always have it, but there's days that you can't access it as easily. Say it's a monitor mix. Say I can't hear Parrish that well, and I just didn't know to turn him up or whatever, and it sounded weird. And then we're in the jam. I get off by a half a millisecond or something like that, and then in my head, it didn't fumble the jam, but I'm like, lock in, man. And then I'm thinking about it real hard. Then I'm like, oh shit. Well, maybe I need to turn Parrish up. Maybe Will's chop. Where's Will's chop? Maybe I can't hear Will. Whatever, you know. Then that could affect the choices that I'm trying to throw at the whole painting, you know. That could affect the colors that I'm trying to add to it. Because then when you're dialed in, you can really hear everybody, and it's really when you can bring it down and you can just hear how everybody's flowing with it. I think the ideas are there. Some days you're happier than others. Some days you feel that your stomach's upset or whatever it may be. It could literally be anything. At sound check, I could feel like it was gonna be the best show of my life, and then when we step on stage, something has clicked in my head. Maybe nerves. I don't, you know, whatever it may be. It's such a gamble. So the Grateful Dead played terrible shows, and then they, you know, so I'm like, they played some really horrific shows. Fish played, so every band that you look up to has had, you know, terrible ones. I think nowadays you are seeing bands that are very, 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 very consistent. And like, it's in the bluegrass world, there's bands that are relatively flawless, you know, but I also think what we're doing is a different approach to something. And I think we're trying to create these musical moments, but we're not doing it in the way like your typical bluegrass band would do it. So I'm like, I don't know. Some days it's awesome. Some days I still think it's awesome, but maybe it wasn't as awesome as the last show, you know? Yeah. That's the way I hope that's how people view it. But definitely there are times where it's like, man, I'm struggling, or I'm in my head up here for sure.
Well, your reputation is, I mean, it's some of the best. So, dude, a lot of the times it's in your head.
I've come to learn that a lot of things in life are in my head.
Man, to that.
It's funny, man. You know, you can be your worst enemy, biggest critic, your own downfall, but
Get out of your head.
I'm learning to shut it off though, because I have that thing you asked Parrish about the guilt. I had to remind myself you're allowed to take 30 minutes to do something else, because I'm like, you should pick up your guitar and try to write something all day long. You know, it's like I had no chill. And I'm getting a little bit better about that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to beat myself up as much about it. And maybe it is nice to sometimes take your hands off of it and then come back in a day and be like, oh, wow, you know, now it feels better.
Or whatever, just something outside of it.
Right, absolutely.
Parrish and Alex, maybe you guys can also tell me about this incident in New Orleans late last year. Because you guys were there, right?
Talking about
Isn't
that incident?
absolutely insane.
So what was your experience like? What happened there?
So wild. Well, the night was incredible because we had played it was on New Year's Eve. We had played 2 nights before that at Chickawawa for Billy Strings because he was doing his 3-night run there. We played the 29th and the 30th. 2 sold out shows from like 11:30 or midnight till 2:30, 3 a.m. People are partying, and it was so fun. And then it's kind of like the reward, I think, because the 3rd day we just get to go hang out in New Orleans all day, New Year's Eve, so it's like we all went to Billy, he went to Sound Tribe, which was in the French Quarter, right? Sound Tribe was
like, like in the French Quarter. I can't remember but it was
very close
to the.
And then we go and do Billy, and the show was incredible. Oh my goodness. So, you don't even think about that anything terrible is about to happen after the show. And then we talked about it. I leave the venue, I'm with a big group of people, my girlfriend and a bunch of homies, and it's like, I'm still going. I'm like, let's go party. Where do you guys want to go? It's like, let's go to Bourbon. And not everybody wanted to go. And funny enough, these random people had bought us a bottle of liquor at our Airbnb because we were playing bluegrass music. They weren't even affiliated with the band, weren't even there to see Billy. They were just in town. And they go, oh man, you guys are great. We're going to the liquor store. What do you guys like to drink? I said, oh, whatever, He comes back with a big old handle of Makers. He goes, here you guys go, gives it to us. So one of my buddies goes, after the Billy show, he goes, we got the bottle of Makers. Let's save our money and go back. I said, oh, you know what? You're right. Let's do that. And that might have saved our lives, honestly, because the Bourbon was going to be the first place we went. And our Airbnb was a 5-minute walk from Bourbon, or about 5 or 7-minute walk. So that bottle of liquor, what I think, kept us from going down there. But we didn't even know it happened. The next morning we wake up to go home, and there's
Wake everybody up.
You were the first one to realize it.
Well, I woke up super early, so like I said, we went to Sound Tribe, so we came through the other side, and we were, I mean, a street over, from Bourbon Street. So we walked back, and I woke up early in the morning, and somebody had called me or texted me. He was like, "You guys okay?" I was, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like,
That's never a good text.
nope,
Yeah.
then I figured it out.
not
I
good.
was like, I mean, everybody did drinking, and so everybody was passed out. And once I realized we may not be able to get out of the city, like it could get really crazy. So I rung everybody's doorbell pretty much.
Yeah.
Everybody pack up, we're leaving.
There was tons of commotion going on, heading out of town. There's cops everywhere, and then we figured out what happened, and it was definitely changed the mood of the car ride home for sure. It was very sad, but also very grateful that we made, one decision. Be able to call our parents and say, we're good, because it was like anybody that knew, hey, they're like, oh, Sicard was in New Orleans, Then we started getting, and we made a post saying, hey, everybody, we're good. But it was that's terrifying.
In the grand scheme of the world, when you think about it, you're a cat's whisper away from it. We were like
That close.
we were in the grand scheme of everything happening on the planet that night. We were pretty much as close as you could be without being involved in it. So it was definitely pretty shocking.
One of the kids that passed away was from my hometown, Birmingham, Alabama, and he was at the Billy show, and they went out down to Bourbon after the show, and so the timing was there, horrible. Yeah, absolutely terrible.
Absolutely not. Well, guys, you guys have been awesome. Let me leave you with this, man. Just watching your shows, and I was watching you guys on YouTube last night, man. The physicality of your shows.
Mhm.
You were talking about health off camera
Yeah.
and stuff. Like you gotta be in shape to play Sicard shows.
It helps for sure.
Like you guys can't just fuck around and not be in peak condition. If you guys are playing, right?
I agree with that. For me, I find that true for sure. Or at least it just helps out, I think it helps out with everything in life, mentally, with just the support of playing the guitar. You don't think you really have to work out to have the mechanics down, but like it is it is physical. And like I have this thing with my wrist where I grew up skateboarding. I love skateboarding. That's like one of my favorite things in life.
It's a skateboard.
I love skateboarding, and I keep up with it so much. I don't skate as much anymore.
Do you know Katie Pruitt?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Natural friend. She's a skater.
Oh, wow.
She recently told me she kind of quit because she's afraid, this is my livelihood.
Literally. So yeah, I got to be very, very careful, but I would always catch myself. I never really learned how to fall growing up because you're supposed to roll it. You're not supposed to catch yourself on your wrist. So I've been lifting weights was hard for me at first because my wrist would just hurt, even doing push-ups. And I've been working out pretty consistently now I got into long distance running a while ago. Now I've switched to, I started lifting a good bit. Just how much better my wrist feels. Because I used to get done playing shows and it would hurt sometimes, my hand, and just working those muscles has helped me so much with flat picking. And just stamina in general. I'm belting on stage, screaming into a microphone for, 2 hours, 3 hours in an evening. And I think just having stamina in general helps with it, because it is definitely exhausting up there.
Yeah.
People can say it's not, but you get off stage and I'm just soaked in sweat, I get done with the show, I'm like, man, I need to chill out.
You're one with the bass for 2.5 hours, dude. It's
a long road, yeah.
Yeah.
The health kick has been amazing though. Like it's
Good for all of us.
to find that, and then you can't give it to somebody. They have to find it themselves, and it's cool because the whole band is kind of on their own journey, and they're each person individually with it. But
That's not maintained being the strongest. If I ever can lift more than me, I'll be really
all right,
do that. I'd be honestly.
he has the upper hand on that one for sure. Yeah, but it's been a beautiful thing for Sicard, and I think for everybody's personal lives.
great, man.
Thank you.
Sound great.
Thank you.
What's this word about new music?
New music.
Can we-
Oh yeah, we can. We don't have a name for the EP yet, but it is going to be an EP. 6 songs, freshly recorded. They sound so good. I'm super hype on it. It's very bluegrassy. Like obviously we're a string band and we have bluegrass background. Some people would argue that it's not bluegrass, but this one feels more bluegrassy.
Yeah.
And got some quirky tunes on there, got some really heartfelt tunes, and then there's one on there that gets psychedelic and has a jam in it. So yeah, 6 songs done by our buddy John Estes in Bellevue.
Oh, he's great.
He's amazing. Love him.
Great, yeah.
Love him. It was awesome. Probably one of the best sessions we've ever had. So you can be on the lookout for those. I don't have a date, but we're going to start dropping singles. I think in a month we will. So
And for the people out there, man, you guys are a must-watch live band, like straight up.
it's definitely a live act for sure.
You guys are a must-watch, like
Definitely.
see them.
I think so too. So
Well, Alex, thank you.
yeah, thank you so much.
AKA Buddha, AKA wisdom of
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you for tuning in. Click here to subscribe and get the latest from the show, including exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and once-in-a-lifetime performances. And as always, thank you for making Jrodconcerts Media part of your day.